When I'm on a plane, something extraordinary happens to my brain. I can actually see little photographs of the future. I can see snapshots of the future when I'm on a plane, right? And I'll tell you how it works, because I always get on the plane first, because I always carry too much shit in my bag, and so I want it in the overhead bin before anyone else is there, because otherwise it ain't never gonna fit. And so I get on the plane first, I sit down, and then I watch people come in, and I always know who is gonna sit next to me. Always, I always know. As soon as that person appears, I'll be sitting there, no. I wish. No. You know, I know who it is. I always know who it's going to be. And I remember there was one potentially tragic event that happened, and I was flying to Edmonton, and that's not the tragedy. And I was sitting there, and these people are going by, and I'm like, no. And all of a sudden, this majestically enormous woman, just like a movie screen with a dress. Just this magnificently enormous woman, she just appeared. And our eyes met. And I knew we would share 97 minutes together. And I got no problem with people being big. Like, let's get that straight. I'm not being like, oh, what's my problem? No, I mean, okay. Put on weight. I say, if you're gonna have it, own it. Yeah, if you're gonna be big, be big. Well, be one of those people who's got it. Just, what? You know? You should be one of those people who walks onto an elevator and has people scared, you know? Just like, ah. And they're looking at the brass tag and doing math. I've got no problem with it. But there's also a certain realism that you have to have when you're assessing the enormity of people, the degree of largitudinousness, right? Because there are some people who are quite big. There are some people who are like, wow. And there are some people who are more like fruit with pants, you know? Have you ever been in the States? Have you ever been, in the States, much more popular. It's much more fashionable down there. Have you ever been in a Walmart in the States and all of a sudden you go around the corner and, there's a plum in overalls. You know, that weird, stretched, strange part. And whatever sexual pieces they haven't seen them in years. You know, they had some weird weekend where they said goodbye. Goodbye! It was like a bald man rowing away. And, you know, just big people. And this woman, so I'm just saying it to give you an idea of the scope of this particular woman. And she was very, very big. And when people are of that kind of size, they often, I don't know if you've seen this, but they walk sideways in order to walk forward, right? But the irony was she had to walk sideways down the aisle, so she had to walk forward in order to walk sideways in order to walk forward. So it was... And she came to the seat and she looked down and she said, I think this is my seat. And I said, yes. I do believe you're right. And she said, I just have to squeeze by. And I said to myself, that's very well worded. And I assumed the position. Right? I didn't want to make her feel awkward, so I didn't sort of get up and make it a big thing, so I just scrunched into my seat. You know, like an 8-year-old on a roller coaster, just that kind of, And she went by me, and it just touched 70% of you. And she sat down, and she's a wonderful woman. She was a very sweet woman. She's one of those people who you felt just finished, baking bread and making a bed 9 minutes ago. Just very loving, a very, very loving woman. And we're talking about this and that, and then it came to the point where she went to put her seatbelt on, and they gave her an extension. I don't know if you've ever seen that. They give them an extra piece. And she was struggling to get it on. And she looked at me and she said, she's so, self-effacing. She's like, I could sure stand to lose 100 pounds. I said, well, you're better off than me. If I lost 100 pounds, fuck, I'd be dead, you know? And so she got the seatbelt on, and that was the point where I realized that when you're sitting next to someone quite large, it's different sitting next to them when they're sitting and compared to when they're sitting and relaxed. Because the tightness of, she was sort of holding herself in the seat, and then once she was buckled in, she relaxed. And her entire west wing poured over the seat like so much Hawaiian lava. And just as I thought to myself, this could end badly, I realized that she smelled like the best apple pie in the world. She smelled like apples and cinnamon and nutmeg, and I just said, fall asleep on me, big woman. And we had a moment, you know?